This past Christmas, I saw a lot of children make their own list to Santa Claus. This was my list, and Santa did eventually visit me. And we're going to talk about what I got for Christmas. Let's get going. Hello everyone, thank you so very much for joining in. This is Dylan from the Trinidad channel, and I'm going to tell you all from the get-go, this is going to be a long video. Like there's just no way around it. It just ends up being really long, and I'm just really sorry. And if you don't have the time during the week to dedicate to a video like this that is a bit longer, and even with the 2 times speed, maybe it's just a little bit more long than you want, then save the video for the weekend, and then you can come back and look at it if you are interested in these Christmas gifts that I got there. And obviously really Christmas gifts because I had to pay for them. But I recently did a trip or two to Europe, and I picked up some seeds because when you go on these trips you obviously want to get souvenirs, and what better souvenir than a packet of seed where you can grow something from a place that you went, and hopefully that plant becomes a reminder of the place. So it wasn't my first time across this, so it was kind of fairly easy to navigate and to get these seeds. That being said, like if because the reason I'm saying that is somebody might want to know how you got these seeds, and like importing seeds is a very tricky process in Trinidad, and for good reason. To some extent, you don't want to just have anything that's flooding into the country because it may not interact well with the ecology that we have here. So that's fine and that's fair. I was able to bring these seeds. Customs didn't give me any problems to bring them in. All declared and everything, so it was just allowed to come in. Mean that they were fairly safe to come in as an individual planter. I didn't bring it to plant on like a market scale. So yeah, it's not a problem as an individual backyard gardener, and these seeds are just for my own personal use in my garden. And of course, if eventually I have some seeds and I can give away some seeds to some friends and family and acquaintances, well, that's a different story, and hopefully I don't get in trouble for that part if it does eventually happen. So I'm just going to be taking you all through this video. As I said, it's going to be a little while, but hopefully you all stick around, and I'm just going to show you all. I'll just tell you all where I got the seeds, a little bit of the story if there is a story to tell with these seeds, and we'll just go straight into it. So I'm not going to be able to do this in any particular order because I'm trying to speed through but not trying to go too fast. I'm just going to be showing you all the seeds, and you will hopefully get a little treat, which is the seeds now that some of them have germinated, because I started this process of starting these seeds in January, just after Christmas. I had started the process of the seeds, and I did a video on TikTok where I broke down everything and I showed you all the seedlings on TikTok. If you want to go on TikTok and look at those videos, it's all there. But for the people on YouTube who don't make it onto TikTok or who are not on TikTok, I'm going to show you all. So what has happened is I have started a lot of these seeds. I've started them, and I've already put them into the garden. Some of them are actually ready. Some of the radish, because radish grows so fast, within a month you can harvest radish. Some of the radish are ready to be harvested, and some of the plants are at the seedling level. Like the tomatoes, they are at maybe now 6 weeks of seedling from germination. So 6 weeks from germination is not, it sounds like a lot of time, but it's really not. So the tomatoes are just about like probably just about a foot or a bit less than a foot. So I'll just give you all a pan of all the tomatoes and all the peppers. Some of them are just in seedling cups. They have to be put out. The eggplant, the bygone, they're also in seedling cups to be put out. So these seeds, they have started their process of hopefully giving us something in our climate, because a lot of these seeds, they're more designed for a colder temperature in Europe, in the countries specifically France, Germany and Italy. So I want to see what will happen. It's a bit of an experiment here on the Trinidad Gardeners channel to see what will happen with these seeds in our climate in Trinidad. We'll start off here. I have this plant. This is the Peperone Picante di Cayenne. So this plant is Italian, and all Italian seeds came from the city of Rome, which is the capital of Italy. And it was like my last day in Italy on my trip. That was last year during the summer holidays, right? In August, very hot, even more hot than Trinidad. And I really wanted to get some seeds, and I happened to see somebody selling seeds, and they were not like super cheap. Like they were kind of pricey because these are organic heirloom seeds, but I, it was something that I just had to do. So this has germinated and I have seedlings ready to go out. It's meant to be like a chili, like a long red chili pepper. Very excited about that. This here is these are radish, right? This is from France, so it's on the, you probably can't read it because it's probably flipped image for you all, but it basically says the 18-day radish. It doesn't work in 18 days. It takes at least 30 days for me. Don't know what I'm doing wrong, but maybe it's our climate. Maybe because it's hotter, it takes longer. I don't know, because these are like radish is normally a cold weather crop. So these were picked up in France, in the southwest of France, which is a city called Bordeaux, which means on the border of water because it's just on the border of the Atlantic Sea, on the left-hand side if you watch it on a map. So yeah, so those are radish. Those are planted outside. This is just a regular, just says aubergine de Barbontan. This is from Germany. It's from a city called Freiburg, which is in the southwest of Germany. And I picked these up over the Christmas holidays. This is germinated and it's outside ready to be planted in. Here I have, this is a purple peas and it's also from Germany, also from Freiburg. All the German seeds are from Freiburg. It's in the area actually where we get the Black Forest cake originating, and they have a forest that's called the Schwarzwald, and it's basically, it just means black forest because it looks really dark on the inside, because it's just so thick in the trees. I've gone in the Black Forest a few years ago, and it's not black, it's just really dark, but not black. This did not do very well. They germinated. I had some good seedlings going on, at least what I thought were good seedlings, but this is a very cold weather crop. Like I'm looking here at when they say to plant them, and it's really meant to be like a spring kind of crop, and planting it then in Trinidad in our hot weather. I think that's what did them in, because none of the seedlings survived. All of them basically just wilted up. So I think it's just because they can't handle how hot we have in Trinidad. So I will try it again. No point in the seeds just going to waste. I'll just probably try giving it less shade, like more shade next time, and probably try to see how I can keep the temperature down for it, because it needs sunlight obviously to grow, but with the sun does come the heat, and sometimes the heat kills plants if they're not designed for our kind of heat. It's not a problem that we have with peppers, but things like peas really are meant for a colder temperature. Even in Trinidad, pigeon peas and your bodi, they can do better without too much of sun. Bodi is fairly adapted to our climate, so that's why you can have it in full sun. But peas in general, not just like sorry, I'm just coming off a cold. Peas, it's normally a bit different than just full-on beans, even though they're related. Peas like the snap peas, sugar snap pea, dragon pea, they're usually like a bit of a spring crop, and spring obviously doesn't mean much to us in Trinidad, but spring is just after winter in a temperate country, so it's still chilly for us, but it's a mix, right? It's kind of weird because for us it's chilly, but for people in the temperate countries it's a little bit warmer than how it had been. So if it was winter, it'd been freezing cold, like ice, but then the weather starts to drop a little bit, which for us is still kind of cold, but for them it's a little bit warmer based on their point of view, and then that's good for peas because peas are able to grow. But then you get to our kind of weather, which is the summer, and then the peas really don't do very well. Same thing with lots of the leafy crops like lettuce. Okay, moving on. This is the Radis National, so basically called the national, oh no, seeds everywhere. Okay, luckily for me, these grow back really easily, and I'll just save some more seeds because seeds just went everywhere. It's cut at the bottom. This is the Radis National, which just means a national radish, and these are growing fine. These are the ones that are ready to harvest outside within a month. I'm just just excited about these. This is from France, but this one is not from Bordeaux, which I told you in Southwest. This one is from Paris. It's in the north. It's in the center north of France. So these are normally designed for a much colder temperature, but for some reason they're growing in Trinidad. So I'm really happy and excited about these, because once you grow the plant, you just need to grow one successful one, and once you grow it, then you're able to save seeds from it, and that one pack can turn into many more packs if you're careful about saving the seeds. This one is also from Paris. This is a Black Beauty Baigan eggplant, which is not anything strange because we can get this in Trinidad. Black Beauty, which are normally imported from the US, and it's not a lot of people's favorite baigan because it's not a long one, but I would like to see what it does in our climate in Trinidad, because I think it might be interesting. Over here we have a Peperone Corno di Toro Rosso, and this is from Italy, from Rome, and it's meant to be like a sweet pepper. So this is one of these did not germinate at all, and I feel like this is probably the one that didn't germinate at all. It's meant to be a sweet pepper. So I'll just double check, and if it's like, if this one didn't germinate, I'll just try back, keep on trying. I just need to get one seed to germinate well, and then hopefully get a plant, hopefully get 1 or 2 fruit from it, and save those seeds, and then you have basically a whole packet. Over here we have the Carota Bellica 2, and this is an Italian carrot which has germinated, and I'm so excited. The carrots are doing really well outside. Even with carrots are normally also like the peas, a spring crop, but it seems to be doing well. This German carrot, I don't think we got much good germination from this one. This is also from Freiburg. It's a very nice looking, evenly looking carrot, but again, it can be tricky when you try to grow these cold weather crops in our hot weather. Like, I'm looking at the packet here, and like the time that they're telling you to grow them is just at the start of you probably can't see that, but they're showing you to do it in March to May, which is full on spring, and then end of July into September, October, which is the start of autumn, fall. So they know that you should be doing this in colder temperatures. I didn't know that. Well, I didn't know it, but I like to try, and sometimes they work, and they are working. Some of the carrots are doing fine outside. Over here we have the weirdest looking seed so far. This is from Germany. It's a green peas, a green bean looking thing. Let me see if I can get one for you all, because this is, when I saw the seed, I was telling myself these will not germinate here. Like, they just look way too weird. Look like something from Jack and the Beanstalk. But they germinated fine. The seeds, I don't know what's going on with the seedlings now that they have germinated, but I have them in the ground, and I'll hopefully be able to give you all an update, hopefully a good update, but we'll see. These are what these seeds look like. Just look at that. Isn't that kind of weird? Like, weird looking. I don't know, it just, to me, it just doesn't look like any kind of peas seed that I've seen before. Very very interesting. Interesting to see plants from other countries, and what could be normal for us is very not normal for other people in their country. So, very cool, right? Okay, over here we're going to continue with the Carotte Nantaise. So Carotte Nantaise, there is a place in France called Nantes, and it's also in the north, and Nantaise just means from Nantes. So they're basically saying this is the carrot that comes from Nantes. It doesn't mean it was actually grown there. It just means that the variety probably had some kind of origin with Nantes. These are also growing really well outside. And then we have the Oignon Blanc. I never have been able to, well, I never really tried to grow full-on onions in Trinidad, so I bought this seed in Paris, and the guy was just swearing to me that you can grow these seeds in a hot climate, because they grow it in the summer over there, and the summer gets really hot. So I took his word for it. He came across fairly genuine. It wasn't like somebody inside the road. He had a proper shop, and these were not more than like €2, which is just about like 14 TT, and he didn't have much to gain by me buying this. But so I had already bought like a bunch of seeds, so I think he was fairly genuine. So I have these planted in. They germinated well. They're in the ground, they're in a container, so I'm just going to wait and see what happens with these Oignon Blanc. I don't have a massive plantation, so I just have maybe 6, 7 plants, and that's as much as I could space as I could spare with everything else. And hopefully, we get some onions, right? Of course, garlic for sure. Garlic is one of those. Don't even try it in Trinidad. Garlic is just, sorry, I have a lot of carrot seeds that just kind of went all over. I don't want to get these. These carrots. Garlic is very much a cold weather crop, like freezing cold weather kind of crop. You normally plant your garlic if you're in a temperate country just in the fall, and you let it stay there for the entire year, through the winter, through the snow, through everything, and then the garlic sends up the scapes normally in January, February into March, right? So it's really meant for super cold temperature, not just chilly like peas. Cold temperature. We can't produce that in Trinidad. So unless you have like an atmosphere controller thing for some of those greenhouses that they have now, you could, no problem. But we can't. We just simply can't naturally. Okay. Here we have the carotte de Chantenay. Chantenay is also another part of France, and well, all of these seeds are from Paris. This is another carrot that is doing pretty fine outside. So I'm really excited about all these carrots, and this fingers crossed that I actually get a carrot, and hopefully I'll go into flower, produce some seeds, and that'll just be amazing. That'll just make my day, right? Over here we have the Citriola longa da China. So I'm thinking it's a Chinese China, right? Being the name. This is Italian from Rome, and it's a cucumber. It's a long cucumber, and it's supposed to be a Chinese variety that is just grown in Italy apparently, and they like it. So the Italians generally have a better climate compared to the French or the Germans. In comparison to Trinidad, it's a bit warmer where they are. They're more south in Europe, in the Mediterranean there. So a lot of the seeds from Italy, they have germinated because they're doing fairly well because of the similarity, I think, in climate and like humidity. Over here we have a tomato that you all have seen on this channel that we have grown and we have harvested from. It's called a money maker, and it's something you could get in most agri shops now. Big agri shops, they have them because they're imported from the US. It's called a money maker tomato. I've seen them all over. This is the same variety, but it is from Paris. So sometimes you could get the same variety from a different country and it's a little bit different. It's meant to be heirloom, which means that it's meant to be the same thing no matter where you go, but it always ends up being a little different variety. So we will see. Even if packet looks very similar to the ones that I have grown, that you all would, if you go back and you see any of my tomato tours and tomato taste tests, even on TikTok, you'll see the money maker tomato. Over here we have the Pomodoro Roma, and this is the Roma tomato. This is from Italy, and Roma is a tomato that originated in Italy or was popularized in Italy. Roma being from Rome, and this was bought in Rome, so that's really cool. And really good paste tomato that you normally use to make Italian food, because Italians, they do like what we would call tomato choka. They do something similar, which is called what do they call it? Marinara, yeah. And you would use this to make your marinara sauce. So it'd be really and they do like just a tomato pasta, right? Pasta al pomodoro meaning pasta, right? Kind of a tap my tongue saying these fancy words. Okay, over here we have another, and this one is growing. It's really cool. This is a radish. When I first saw it, I think I bought it because I thought it was a pepper, right? But then when you read it, Ravanello Candela, right? So it's meant to be, well, not meant to be, it is a radish, and I have this in the garden right now. It's growing, and we'll see what ends up happening because it's meant to be really long. So, and I have been seeing some that they're not growing so straight and nice like how these are. They're kind of curling, but if I get one to grow and to at least taste it and just see something that is from a different land. Okay, well, here we have the Poivron Piquillo, which is a Spanish name Piquillo, but it is French seed, and this is also from Paris. It's meant to be like a smaller kind of pepper. I think it's a mix between sweet and hot, which for us will end up being sweet because we have such a strong pepper tolerance in Trinidad from growing up eating pepper with our background spices. So we will these have germinated and they're out there in the garden, so just ready to be planted in. They're not in the containers just yet, but they're in small cups for now. This over here, this, like, you'll recognize this immediately if you have grown anything like this before in Trinidad. So this is just like a string bean, right? Just like we have in Trinidad, and we've grown, like you've seen on the channel. I'm sure you all have also grown it and bought it and, you know, had it, eaten it at some point. The fun thing though is that this is, sorry, my nose is just really acting up. This the coldest stays with you, right? I'm very contagious right now. Stay away. But what I was saying is, the funny thing about this is that this is normally one of the easiest crops to grow in Trinidad. Anybody could throw some of these seeds in and they would germinate. I threw some seeds in, no germination, zero germination, and these were bought just on the summer. These are not from Paris, these are French, and they were bought in Bordeaux over the I think like in August then, right? Summer holidays, and it just no germination, just nothing. So I don't know if the seed was just long, but like as in old. I can't find the, yeah, it says the seed's supposed to be good until 2027. Supposed to be good until 2027, but can you do? I don't know if I'll try back because it's just such a common thing. It was cheap, so why not? But yeah. Over here we have a very interesting set of seeds, and it'll come with a story. This is why the video is so long, because I have stories. This is called the Pomodoro Marmont, right? And over the summer I visited some friends that I have in France, and they have their own garden. They're out there in the countryside, the French countryside, southwest, and they have a really nice space where, and I'll see if I get a little clip or a video of that, a little picture to show you all, because we had visited, and they took us to, it's not my friend's grandmother's garden, which is nearby to her house, and they were showing us their tomatoes, and one tomato was the Marmont. Now, this is the Italian Marmont that I bought in Italy. There is, however, a French version of this. Yes, right. Yeah. So this is the same thing, right? This is just the Italian seed that I bought in Rome, and this is the French seed that I bought in Paris, but it's the same variety. And I had bought this one first during the summer, and then over the Christmas when I was in Paris, I bought this one Marmont, and I saw that it was the same thing. So I wanted to see if I grow the two, would I get the same kind of performance or the same variety or the same taste from both of the Marmont, same variety, but from two different countries. Going to be harvesting some vegetables from this amazing garden here.
C'est la Marmande.
D'accord. C'est la Marmont. So this one is called Marmont, which I don't know if there's a word for that in English. So let's go with Marmont. Celui-là, c'est Marmont aussi.
C'est Marmande, elle est ronde.
D'accord, ok. Wait. These here called Marmont. So, very excited. So there's a bunch of, within this big overall experiment, there are a bunch of mini experiments, and I'm super excited, especially about this one. One, because I really like tomatoes, and two, it'll be really cool to call my friends and tell them that I grew the exact same thing that they grew in their garden from two different countries. And maybe I'll make them feel jealous, who knows. And over here, okay, we're coming to the end. There's a light at the end of this tunnel here. We have a pepperoni ciliegia picante. Biting up my tongue to say this. This one, I don't think we have any germination of it, so I'm going to have to try back. This one and the this one here, pepperoni corno di toro rosso. One of these are the ones. Both of them from Italy though, and no germination on these peppers. It reminded me of riri, which is a pepper that you get in Guyana. So I would have tried it all. It looked kind of like a hot little, it's supposed to be a hot pepper. It's supposed to be a hot, it says picante. Picante normally means hot if you go into like an Italian restaurant, like if you go to Rizzoni's or Buzo, they normally will have picante, and usually it's hot. So, and the Italians do eat hot fairly well, right? They do support heat more than a lot of other Europeans, like Germans or people from Scandinavia. They can't normally eat. They would consider Italian food to be super spicy, which is not very spicy for a Trinidadian palate, but it is fairly spicy in their own field, right? Second to last seed here, we have the chicorée frisée, and that means curly chicory. Chicory is this, which looks very much like lettuce. It's similar to lettuce. On my TikTok, I have a bit of a comparison between seedlings that I got here, which are regular Batavia green lettuce that you accustomed buying every Saturday, Sunday in the market, and this leaf here, this chicory, right? One thing that I noticed is that it's a bit fuzzy. There's a little bit of a fuzz to it, like a little hairiness, like how same has a little bit of a hair, like a fur to it, and then the veins on it are very cool. It's very much different than a lettuce, but it's also something that I think would be interesting to try to grow, and I have it in ground right now, and I can't wait to see what it ends up producing as an actual like there's a leaf there that I could eat the leaf, but let me leave the leaf, the baby leaf, and see what the mature thing will do. And the last one, we are no strangers with this one here in Trinidad. This is called a tomate cerise. You all know cerise or cerise is a cherry in Trinidad, and that's from our French heritage. When we used to speak French, so we call that fruit cerise, which means cherry in English, and this is the tomate cerise, which means cherry tomato. So cherry tomatoes are, you find them all over the world, but they end up being similar with differences. So I can't wait to see, like some cherry tomatoes, you get them and they're super sweet. Some you get them a bit more tangy, which is what I prefer. Some you get them and they're very sour, which I can tolerate. The sweetest ones are not my favorite, but it's always good to at least have that in your seed pack if ever you want to grow some sweet tomatoes. So I'll see what this ends up doing. For me, this is a French tomato, French seeds. Germination was good. It's planted it's in a bucket, just ready to be harvested. Within about 2 months, I'll be able to report back on the French tomatoes. The peppers might take a little bit longer because they're not in the containers in the ground just yet. So I will see what ends up happening with all of these. So I really hope that you I hope that you weren't super bored by this video. I know it's not our regular format and you weren't actually in the garden, but I just really want to show you all, and I did promise you all on TikTok that I would be going through these seeds, giving you a bit more of the story of the seeds and just a bit more information. On TikTok, I had to just go quickly. So this is about 4 times longer than my TikTok video, which already was pretty long. So just really much thank you for sticking around this long, and I'm really glad that you were able to just see all the seeds that I have. Remember that if you have any interest in seeds, feel free to just let me know, tag me in something, or send me a message. I'll just be really happy. Or leave a comment and just tell me what you have, where you got it, and what's the story behind this. It's just a really interesting background. Whenever somebody tells me that they got this seed and the seed was brought down from their grandmother from somewhere, or left their family in Japan or something interesting, and then we end up having it in Trinidad, and that's how we spread. That's how we get more information. That's how we get more varieties and interesting foods, and just the same thing over and over. Can get a bit mundane, so being able to have that variety, that bit of extra spice is really good, right? And when we say spice, that could actually mean actual spice, stuff like this. Except not this one, because this one didn't germinate for us. So remember that you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and on Facebook to see more stuff coming out of the Trinity Gardeners channel. And you can tag me on any of those platforms, because I'm just so happy to see you all just in your garden or doing your own thing, or even saving your own seeds. That's just always an amazing thing for us, and a big encouragement for us on the channel right here. Remember, if you know somebody who would be interested in this kind of agricultural but organic information, growing their own food, then feel free to share this video and share the channel with them, so that we can encourage them as well in growing our own food right at home and taking that food security into our own hands. Remember, as always, this has been Dylan from the Trinity Gardeners channel, reminding you to get up and get growing. Take care.